English doom metal band Cathedral experiment with different styles to produce their unique sound, and their new album was no exception. Renee finds out more.
I'm at the Camden Underworld with a band that I'm sure needs no introduction, Cathedral. Lee, tell us, you're not only the front man of Cathedral and the man that started it all, you're also a trained astronaut.
Oh, well, I went to space camp about 4 years ago in Texas. That was quite an experience, yeah. I did it was like a 2-week program. I went on centrifuge, did mission to the space station. It was like a simulated version of it, but it was fantastic, yeah.
So how long has Cathedral been going?
Oh, I guess the idea was around like middle to late 1989, so we actually started rehearsing early 1990, so 15 years, almost 16.
So tell us about your new album that's just come out now, Garden on Unearthly Delights.
It's quite a mouthful. Well, our last album came out like 3 years ago, so it's been quite a long time in the making. I mean, since our last album, we changed labels and we've had business problems as usual. And then, you know, we had loads of material that we were working on like 2.5 years ago or so. It was, yeah, loads and loads of material, all kind of songs that were actually written. And I think Brian and, I don't know about Gaz, but a couple of the guys were quite ready to go in the studio, and to me, I personally thought the songs were just a continuation of the last album, but not as strong. I just thought they were just kind of average songs. And so I kept sitting on the fence about the material. And then because we live so far apart, and it's hard for us to be together, and all the business problems that were going on, it just seemed to go on forever. But I'm glad it did. I think that the longer we waited for ourselves to feel ready to go in the studio, it just felt right when we did. And if we'd have gone in any sooner, I think we'd have made a mistake.
All right, how's everyone doing? All right, it's a song called Electric Grey. Come on!
did disappear for about 3 years. What were you doing in that time?
I don't know. Oh, we did a few tours and stuff, you know. Toured the States, did a couple of tours in Europe.
We've never split. We've never split up or anything. We've just had a lot of, as I said before, we've had a lot of, well, no, just a lot of major problems, you know. We've always had hassle.
It's always been things out of our control, you know.
Of course, yeah.
We've essentially started the band to make records and tour and write music, but business and politics have always been an obstruction for us, and they've always held us back, you know.
Some reviews have said that, you know, it is a cathedral has a curse. Like
King Diamond put it on us, didn't he?
because there was a lot of times. I mean, cathedral's been through a lot of shit. So, there's a lot of times that band members had to leave, or band members that chose to leave. I mean, I can imagine that you actually felt, you know, well, this is it. It's just not worth it.
Not really, no. I mean, we've always believed in what we do. I mean, you know, me and Gaz are the original members that are still in the group now, and Leo and Brian have been with us for 10 years, so that's a long time, you know. I mean, people dwell a lot on the lineup changes before this lineup, but in actual fact, it's like 10 years is a long time in anyone's career, you know. But I mean, essentially in the early days, I think me and Gaz had the biggest drive about the music, what we were about, you know, the whole ideology of it and stuff, and we never let that alter our path of carrying on doing what we wanted to do.
But didn't you feel that the sound kept changing every single time you had a different person?
I think, yeah, to a point, but because I've been with the band since like day one as well, and essentially I think, you know, a lot of what Cathedral's sound is about the guitar sound and stuff like that, and the riffs and stuff, so I've been there all along. It hasn't really deviated that much. Obviously some of the material we've tried out is very, we've been experimental, you know, but there's always been an element to what Lee was saying. It's like we've still got a passion for the music that we play, because every time we ever take a step forward or something, there always seems to be like an obstacle in the way, and we get past that, but there's another one in the way. It's always like that for us, and it's never been easy. I mean, 15 years doing it, and it's still a struggle now to do it.
Those obstacles make you want to knock them down, you know, want to keep proving yourself to
Just
yourself.
saying, well, you know, I'm just going to do it anyway, I don't care what you throw at me.
It's all about the music to us. I mean, like what we were saying before, the stuff that we were influenced by and the stuff we listened to back then is still what drives us on now. You know, obviously there's newer bands and stuff that we take influences
I think the difference
by.
is we've still got the same influences as when we first had, but we've developed our own way of interpreting it, and we've just developed our own sound from the influences we initially had. So, I mean, you could probably pick out a few reference points on a new album. You could probably compare them to other band styles, but
But that's what most bands really, I mean.
Yeah, but I think you could definitely say it's Cathedral, it's their sound now, you know, as opposed to it being derivative of loads of other bands.